My foster parents starved me thinking I was a helpless foster kid, not knowing I was undercover CPS. I've always looked older than my age. At 34, with some makeup and posture work, I could pass for 70 without anyone questioning it. So when there was a nursing facility that needed investigating with 4 unexplained falls in 6 months, I was ready to go undercover. I'd pretend to be an early-stage dementia patient they were admitting, wear a hidden recording device, and a team would be monitoring everything from a surveillance van in the parking lot. If things went critical, they'd enter the facility immediately. I arrived at Meadowbrook's front entrance in a wheelchair with fake medical records, playing the part of a confused elderly woman perfectly. The head nurse, Vera, looked at my intake form and let out this irritated sigh. "Another state placement," she muttered. She wheeled me down a dim hallway to a room at the very end. "This is yours. Try not to wander." I looked around. The room smelled like mildew. The call button cord was cut and tied in a knot, hanging useless on the wall. I could hear laughter from the nurses' station, where staff had comfortable chairs and fresh coffee. I realized exactly what type of facility this was, but I reminded myself why I was here. I just had to endure it long enough to get what we needed. The first morning, I pressed the call button out of habit. Nothing. I waited 40 minutes before Vera finally appeared. "I need my morning medication," I said, checking my fake chart that listed daily heart pills. She looked at me like I was making it up. "You already had it." I hadn't. She knew I hadn't. My heart sank, not for myself, but for all the real patients who depended on medication to stay alive. The facility director, Lloyd, was quieter, but more dangerous. One evening, he came to my room, leaned against the doorframe, and said something I'll never forget. "Your family put you here because they couldn't deal with you anymore. Nobody calls. Nobody visits. We're all you've got, so you'd better not cause problems." His voice was calm, matter of fact. I thought about all the real patients who heard that same speech and believed they were truly abandoned. But that wasn't even the hardest part, because there were real patients in that facility. An elderly woman named Iris in the next room. A man down the hall named Hollis who could barely walk. One afternoon, Iris fell trying to reach the bathroom. I heard the thud through the wall. I waited for staff. 5 minutes passed. 10. Finally, I opened my door and saw her on the floor, crying softly. I had to dig my nails into my palms to stop myself from helping her directly and blowing my cover. I pressed her call button instead. 15 minutes later, Vera appeared, annoyed. "Fell again? You need to be more careful. No incident report, no examination, just irritation." That night, Iris whispered through the wall, "Don't ask for help at night. They get angry. It's worse when they're angry." By day 4, I was documenting everything. Missed medications, 12-hour gaps between checks, patients left in soiled sheets. I waited until evening and walked slowly to the nurse's station using my confused elderly voice. "Excuse me, I haven't had my heart medication in 2 days. I'm feeling dizzy." Vera looked up from her phone, annoyed. "You're fine. Stop making up symptoms for attention." "But my chart says..." "I know what your chart says. You think you're special? Everyone here wants extra attention. That's not how this works." She leaned closer. "Keep complaining, and I'll have you transferred to the state psychiatric ward. I've done it before to troublemakers. 1 call, and you're gone." I smiled. That was it. I looked her directly in the eyes and said calmly, "Actually, let me save you that call." I pulled out my phone and pressed one button. The front doors of the facility opened immediately. State health inspectors, my entire investigative team, and 2 police officers walked through. "They've been monitoring everything," I said to Vera. "Every missed medication, every ignored call button, every threat you just made, all documented." I reached into my cardigan and pulled out my credentials. "I'm Investigator Brennan. This facility is being shut down effective immediately pending criminal investigation." Vera's face went white. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Lloyd appeared from his office and froze. As they were being escorted past me by officers, I said just 6 words. "Try not to wander in prison."